Welcome to today's show. I'm your host, Mike Slinkard. This week, we're headed to the great state of Texas. We're going to tag along on some deer and hog hunts with my buddy Brad Golke and his family. Then, we're going to transition into some off-season exotics. You know, it's a great way to hone those skills without missing any of your primetime hunting seasons. You know, it's no big surprise that Texas has over 16 million cows, more than any other state in the nation. But what most people don't realize is they also have the most whitetails as well, around 4 million to be exact. Add in game birds, predators, and over 200,000 exotics, and you have the virtual hunter's paradise. We like Texas because it's a great place to test HECS technology on a wide variety of species and in different hunting situations. Like always, we'll bring it to you just like it happened, right here on Hunting with HECS.
Hunting is about getting close. Really close. Get closer than you ever thought was possible.
When you have a cameraman and you setting out in a dirt field like this, you can get away with so much with this HECS on.
I've got to give credit once again to HECS.
We showcase the science of getting close right here on Hunting with HECS. Hunting with HECS is brought to you by Spicy Archery, Tough Country, American Values Forged in Steel, Ozonics, Undetectable Undeniable, Victory Archery, the Carbon Arrow Experts, BumpersDirect.com, Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls, we call the game, Spot Hog, the world's toughest archery products, Worn Wenches, UC Hunting Properties, and HECS Stealth Screen, the evolution of concealment.
On this first hunt, we join young Hunter Golke on the bow, and his dad Brad is on the camera. Well, this is on the Golke family cattle ranch. It's a low-fence hunt, and the animals are totally free range. Both guys are in the tree stands here, and they have several deer feeding nearby. As usual, the pair are decked out in HECS head to toe, which allowed them to get away with a lot of movement and still remain undetected. Well, Hunter's taken several good deer already over the years, and he's wanting something special this season. When this nice 9-point shows up, Hunter knows that's the one he wants. Well, once again, the HECS technology is working, and it allows him to remain undetected as he moves around to get ready for a shot. Well, the shot was just a little high and it went right over the deer's back. Unfortunately, you know, that's bow hunting and it happens to the best of us. Well, the Golke Ranch is an exceptional property with tons of animals running around it. It wasn't long before Hunter had a chance to redeem himself. They are on a new stand tonight, and even though they're hunting deer, in Texas, when pigs show up, it always turns into a hog hunt. This time, Hunter was right on the money. If you've been watching Hunting with HECS for very long, you probably realize that HECS patented technology that we feature here on the show has become something of a must-have item for tens of thousands of hunters around the world. What you may not have realized is that HECS technology is also becoming an integral tool for wildlife biologists, researchers, photographers, and really anyone who wants to experience wildlife in its natural and undisturbed state. If you watched this year's Shark Week episodes on Discovery Channel, you saw HECS Stealth Screen logos on some of the world's foremost shark experts. HECS technology is also front and center in the hit show Extinctor Alive on Animal Planet, starring biologist Forrest Galante. Forrest and his team search for and sometimes find animals that were thought to be extinct, and they use HECS to help them in their quest. HECS is even being used by the U.S. military and police special units to help them stay less detectable by animals that can signal danger when they're in covert situations. Quite literally, HECS is popping up everywhere people interact with animals. The bottom line is all living beings, including humans, produce naturally occurring extreme low frequency electrical fields through heart rate and muscle movement. HECS products effectively block those fields, making the person appear more like an inanimate object. HECS is real technology. It's backed up by 5 issued patents, and it's fully proven to work. So no matter what you like to do outdoors, there's a HECS product for you. For more information on the other areas HECS technology is changing the way people look at concealment, check out HECSLLC.com and click on the links to the other HECS entities. Now, let's get back to more hunting action.
The Texas whitetail action continues right after this quick break. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS. This week, we're in the great state of Texas. Before the break, we watched as young hunter Goldkey took a nice hog with his PSE bow. Now, let's get back to the action.
Now it's Brad's turn behind the bow. Brad had a good 12 point on his camera with the drop time, and he's all set up in the area, hoping he'll show up. It wasn't long before Brad had a good deer in front of him. What you can't see here is there's another buck about the same size moving off to the left. Well, it wasn't long before the first buck had had enough and he moved in to run him off. You could hear the antlers cracking together as the 2 bucks clashed just out of view. A minute later, the first buck emerged victorious and headed out in search of a hot doe. Over the next couple of days, Brad had deer after deer in front of him, but he was still holding out for that big 12 point. Well, through it all, HECS technology kept him concealed, and not a single deer spotted him in the tree, even though he was only a few yards from him. Finally, that same 9 point Hunter had missed earlier made an appearance. Brad was still wanting to hold out for the big buck with the drop tine, but this big deer was awful tempting. Well, this is a good buck, and he's in a perfect position for a shot. The longer he stayed, the more Brad's resolve to hold out wore away. Finally, Brad couldn't take it any longer, so he decided to take him.
I think I got him. I think I just heard him go down. This is the 4-year-old 9 point that Hunter missed. And I'm actually quite a ways from that spot, but he came in this morning and he was too good a deer to pass up. You can see I'm hunting with the crossbow this year. Unfortunately, I had to have a major surgery on my hand and have a pin put in it, and still healing from that, so I can't hunt with the bow. But getting this deer with the crossbow this morning actually makes for a good story and brings us full circle.
The original HECS suit is very lightweight, breathable, and versatile enough to be used in almost any hunting situation. It comes complete with pants, shirt, and head cover, and is available in either Mossy Oak Country or Realtree Extra Camo. The material features a highly electrically conductive carbon grid woven into the polyester base cloth. This grid blocks your body's electrical field. Most people wear HECS as an underlayer, but as long as the HECS material is between you and the animal, it's just as effective. The pants are cut similar to sweatpants, with an elastic waistband, adjustable drawstring, elastic cuffs on the bottom, side pockets, and a convenient fly. The pullover shirt features thumb holes, serge stitching, and an embroidered logo. The head cover has a hemmed eye hole, adjustable drawstring in the back, and is very easy to use. Additional accessories are sold separately and include the HECS hat, made entirely of HECS material and is very lightweight and comfortable. The gloves are made of a lightweight, stretchy material in Mossy Oak Camo with the HECS technology woven in. The socks are a heavyweight over-the-calf sock and have the conductive HECS grid woven into the material. Brand new for this year is the new multi-rag. This versatile face mask can be worn in a variety of ways. Order right now and use the promo code PURSUIT to save an instant $30 on your order of a complete HECS suit. Learn more about our complete line of clothing and accessories, as well as our fit guarantee for worry-free ordering at HECSHunting.com. We have a lot more coming up right after this. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS. This week we're in Texas, and so far the Golke boys have been laying them down. Now let's catch up with host Mike Slinkard and see where we're headed next.
Now I'm with my longtime friend Andy Day, and we're headed to the BRB Ranch. You know, I love these Texas ranches during the off-season. Like most all Texas exotic ranches, the BRB has a high perimeter fence and a huge interior area where the animals run free and they're hunted hard with rifles. You know, the game in there is sharp as a tack, and it's a great way to keep your skills sharp and test new gear and new ideas on live game. The BRB Ranch has a great facility and plenty of animals to hunt. From black buck, fallow deer, wild sheep, monster whitetail, and a variety of other game, the BRB has something for everyone. The lodge is brand new and it's all top-notch amenities, and there's plenty of elbow room for large groups and families. It's an easy place to hunt with tower stands, ground blinds, or spot and stock opportunities. All in all, it's just a great place to share a fun hunt with your family, friends, or on a corporate event. On this hunt, we're sitting with my buddy Andy Day. Andy has chosen to sit outside the blind on this setup, and as always has HECS technology to help him stay concealed. Well, the first thing to show up was a nice group of mouflon rams. You know, there's a mineral supplement in those tubes, and the rams are smart, and they've learned that they can bang their horns on them and it'll shake the mineral out where they can get it. As you can see, Andy's outside the blind, only 20 yards from these rams. You know, these rams are hunted year-round with rifles, and they're normally very skittish. But as you can see, they don't notice Andy at all. A couple minutes later, a fallow buck shows up. It also strolls right in to 20 yards without noticing Andy. Well, Andy's after a black buck or maybe a management whitetail on this hunt, so he's content to just sit and watch them go about their business. Later in the evening, the whitetails begin showing up. One after another, they head towards Andy's position, and once again, Andy remains totally undetected. Getting close on these deer only heightened Andy's excitement about the rest of the hunt. A couple nights later, Andy got his chance. Well, he's in a new location and he's self-filming this time, so he decided to get inside the blind with all the camera gear. It wasn't long before he saw several bucks moving into the area. After looking them over, Andy decides to try to take one of these bucks. When it stopped long enough to get the camera on it and to draw his bow, Andy put his PSE to work.
Yeah, this is the buck that I shot here tonight on the BRB Ranch here in Central Texas. And man, it's just been an exciting hunt. We've seen a lot of animals, and I was just so thrilled when this buck came in at 34 yards and stopped and gave me a shot. And I just can't be more happier.
The newest addition is our base layer. The base layer is a lightweight, semi-thermal material designed to be worn under your regular hunting clothing when you need just a little bit of extra insulation. It features the patented HECS technology woven right into the material. The suit comes in 3 pieces: pants, shirt, and head cover. The shirt is a quarter-zip Henley with serge stitching, embroidered HECS logo, and thumb holes. The form-fitting pants have serge stitching throughout, and an elastic waistband and cuff ensure they stay in place. They also feature a convenient fly. The head cover has a hemmed eye hole, adjustable drawstring in the back, and is very easy to use. Additional accessories are sold separately and include the HECS hat, gloves, and our new heavyweight over-the-calf sock. Brand new for this year is the new multi-rag. This versatile face mask can be worn in a variety of ways. Order the HECS base layer right now and use the promo code PURSUIT to save an instant $30 on your order of a complete HECS suit. Learn more about our complete line of clothing and accessories, as well as our fit guarantee for worry-free ordering at HECSHunting.com. Stick around. We'll be right back. Hunting with HECS is brought to you by Spicy Archery, Tough Country, American Values Forged in Steel, Ozonics, Undetectable, Undeniable, Victory Archery, the Carbon Arrow Experts, BumpersDirect.com, Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls, we call the game, Spot Hog, the world's toughest archery products, Worn Wenches, UC Hunting Properties, and HECS Stealth Screen, the evolution of concealment. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS. We're in Texas, and it's a great place to try HECS technology out on a wide variety of species. Off-season opportunities abound, and the guys are taking full advantage of them this week. Now, let's get back to the hunt.
Well, now we're tagging along with me. As usual, I chose to set outside the blind where I can have a full view of everything around me. I really didn't know what I wanted to shoot quite yet, so I decided to just sit tight and see what came by. Well, the first thing I saw was a white-tailed doe. She passed my location just 10 steps and had no idea I was anywhere around. Several other deer showed up that evening as well, but nothing I wanted to shoot. Well, the next day I was back in the same location, but I set up in a better spot based on the animal movement that I saw the day before. It wasn't long before a big group of wild sheep showed up. Well, I hadn't really planned to take a ram on this hunt, but when a good one peeled off away from the herd and walked by at 25 yards, it was just too much to take.
So all you bow hunters out here, I should know better. But I had my collar sticking out like this. When I drew back, that was in front of my bowstring, like this. That will make your arrow fly funny. Oh my God, what a rookie mistake. Always tuck your collars back in.
You know, this is a prime example of why I like to do these off-season hunts. You know, we're always using and upgrading gear, and if you aren't testing it in real-world conditions, you can find out the hard way when there's a problem. It was sure a lot easier to take a miss on this ram than it would have been to miss a big old 6-point this fall. Well, the next day I sat up in an area where they'd recently seen some outad. You know, I've been traveling to Texas for years and have never had the opportunity at one. Outad are just super wary naturally, and taking one with a bow is a monumental accomplishment. Doing it outside the blind, sitting on a chair, would be virtually unheard of. Well, when I spotted this group coming in, I was hoping I was about to get a chance. Well, they traveled off to my left and were feeding behind some brush. There were no rams in the bunch, so I decided to take a ewe if I got a chance. Soon, one stepped into a shooting lane, and I decided to take a shot. Well, I promised you in the beginning of the show that I'd show it just like it happened. This outad was only 25 yards, but I didn't see the small twig that was right in front of me, and it deflected my arrow. This was an animal that I've been after for years, and that little twig turned an easy shot into a disaster. But the fact that I even got to full draw on one outside the blind was a monumental accomplishment, and yet another testament to the power of HECS technology. You know, unfortunately, there's no such thing as a sure deal in bow hunting, but to be honest, it's one of the things that I really love about the sport. Well, the next night found me in a new spot, and I was covered up in deer. But I was still stinging from my miss earlier, so when this group of wild sheep came in, I knew I was going to shoot one if I could get one clear of the herd. A few minutes later, I got my wish. Well, this time, I made it count. Well, we found him. He went about 100 yards or so, fell over. You can see that luminox shining from the blind. We gotta love that. But tell you what, a cool night. Again, you know, I always push the limit. I'm sitting outside. Most people think it's kind of silly, but I do that just to show what we can do with HECS. And you know, we had those whitetail in, really nice buck. I was hoping to try to get a shot at him. Then these sheep came in and kind of pushed the deer out. So we got a good shot on this really nice ram, and he didn't go anyplace.
I'm a huge believer in HECS, and the reason is simply my success in the field. Time and time again, I have things that I just can't explain, and no matter which hunting camp I'm in, I feel like I'm having more opportunities than the people around me that aren't utilizing HECS. The reality is, some animals definitely can sense things that we just don't know about. And with the encounters that I've had, I can tell you that HECS has been my clear advantage. This past year, I got within top pin range on a giant open country bull and just sat there for longer than I was even comfortable for. And when he finally pulled away from that tree and started to come to where he had heard my call last, he literally almost walked right over me. Had no idea what I was, even when that arrow hit, and I'm giving that credit to HECS. During the late season here in Iowa, there's nothing worse than being covered up with whitetails in a ground blind and having them look right in at you. I don't experience that anymore. I'm telling you, the proof is in the pudding for me. If you're interested in getting the best deal possible, make sure you use the promo code at the bottom of the screen. Or if you want to find out more, go to hexllc.com or give us a call at 541-575-HECS.
From free-range deer and hogs on the Golke Ranch to the wide variety of exotics on the BRB, Texas has it all. You know, we were down there in December when it was cold and snowy at home, and it was a great change of pace. We enjoyed the great weather, and the number and variety of huntable species on the BRB was just awesome. No matter what animal it is, HECS technology continues to prove its worth and allows us to have better opportunities in the field. You know, hunting season is right around the corner, so you need to get a HECS suit for yourself or that family member on the way today. Give us a call or go online and get your HECS suit or base layer coming before the big fall rush hits and while we still have a good supply on hand. In the meantime, we'll keep pushing the limits and bringing it to you each week, right here on Hunting with HECS.
If you have an amazing HECS encounter you'd like to share, give us a call or contact us online. If we use it on the air, you'll be in the running to win an exciting hunting trip with the HECS crew. You can find out more on our website at hexhunting.com. While you're online, make sure to take a minute and check us out on our social media sites as well.